I like like we make the era of modern workspaces is incomplete without the mention of this one element, and that is collaboration. With the changing demands of businesses and customers and incidents around the world, like the global pandemic, there is a need to be connected without interruption. A company that doesn't need introduction, Zoom, is facilitating such connections all over the world and enabling remote work for people. To discuss more about Zoom and the latest technologies is joining here with me Sameer Raje, who is the General Manager and Head of India and SAARC for Zoom Video Communications. Hello, Sameer.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to be here as well. So, talking about Zoom, right? It is a name that is unanimous with video calls and video conferencing, right? I'm pretty sure every person in this room, I'd rather every person in this building has used Zoom at some point for their work or even for other purposes. So, like I mentioned, Zoom needs no introduction. So, my question to you is, to what do you owe, Zoom's visibility, and how has your business transformed over the years?
Well, if I have to say what we owe our visibility to, it's I would say the simplicity of use, the
Correct.
simplicity with which any individual, be it a small child, a small kid who is in school, can use Zoom, to a senior most citizen, or a largest of the large enterprise, or a smallest of the small SMB, or mid-sized organization can use Zoom
Correct.
in a way that they want. That's why Zoom is so synonymous with collaboration. So
Right.
that's point number one, because Zoom was formed or created based on that ideology to connect with the customers, to connect or help people use it in the simplest possible manner.
Right.
When we started off, it we started off, and what most of the people know is Zoom as a video calling application or a video meeting platform. But what we are today is much different. We are today a platform, a collaboration platform which helps you connect,
Right.
which helps you innovate, and which helps you create. So basically, these three elements are the core ideology of our platform, which is evolving continuously.
Right. Okay, so moving on to the next question, just like how you mentioned, right? You have transformed from a video calling platform to a collaboration platform right now. I'm pretty sure you have certain goals on mind when you're talking about a collaborative platform in the current stage of your business. So, what are these goals, especially for countries like India and other South Asian countries? So, what are these goals, and what are some challenges that you are, encountering as you are trying to accomplish these goals?
So our primary goal is to be the leader in the collaboration space,
Right.
right? And when we talk about that, we have to understand there are different parameters which are there. First, the users themselves are evolving. There was a time when, for any users, be it a large enterprise or be it a small, medium business, for them, collaboration was nothing but more than maybe a chat, or maybe just a video meeting or a video call.
Correct.
Today, the collaboration is much more. It encompasses a lot more than that.
Right.
It is what we call it as Zoom One, or it could be a space for one particular individual to interact one to one or one to many, right? Let me share some examples with you on that. Something like sending out mails, sending out chat messages, chatting with the team,
Right.
doing meetings, placing a phone call, receiving a phone call through that. Also, doing a webinar, or doing a one-to-many kind of an video webcast kind of thing. This is all for an individual which is doing. So that's the first part of it. Bringing these elements with whole lot of other parts of collaboration. For example, in an organization, there are many moving parts which need collaborative. First, you look at any open space in an organization. Whenever you step in, there is a receptionist. That's a form of collaboration, right?
Right.
You look at a board which is there, which is probably welcoming you. That's a form of collaboration and communication. You move on from there, you sit in a conference room, or you check into a conference room. That's again a form of collaboration. We call that as Zoom spaces. Then you have, you know, your customers trying to reach you, right? Now, you making a reach out is a different thing, but a customer reaching you, usually that used to happen through websites. We call it as our contact center, where a customer is reaching you, which is receiving inbound via chat or via messaging or via phone calls. And then comes the choice of taking this entire thing or partially and embedding it into your applications, embedding it into your devices, embedding it into maybe your platform of your choice.
Right.
And that's the SDK component of it. Now, if you look at this entire view or entire platform which I spoke about, the components of platform, these are very dynamic, these are very evolving. And now, which is the latest and the greatest, is the artificial intelligence which is coming in. Now,
Yeah, of course.
if you look at Zoom, I mean, we've been using or we've been having AI has been component of Zoom for a long time. For example, we had something known as meeting summaries sometime back, long time back, 1 year back. But today we have a lot more than that. We already have generative AI, which was their part
Right.
of it.
Right.
Now we are bringing in a whole lot of other components and allowing not only using our proprietary AI tools, but also bringing in or federating with industry standard AI tools, maybe from OpenAI,
Right.
and also to some extent bringing in, allowing the customers to bring in their own AI tools of their choice.
Right.
And when you create a complete, integrated platform for this, this enables or streamlines your workflows much better.
Right.
And that's where we are headed towards. So
Mm.
basically, to answer your question, we are much ahead of the curve. And also, not only are we using our proprietary technology, but also providing a platform to integrate the industry's greatest and the best and create a platform which is federating with different technologies
Right.
and allowing it to bring it into your own platforms.
Moving on to the next question. There are other, platforms that facilitate video collaboration or, collaboration in general, right? So it's a competitive landscape. So my question to you is, what are Zoom's key differentiators when it comes to, competition, and what advantages do you think you have?
Well, to be honest with you, at Zoom, we have a core ideology that we really do not, you know, look at what our competitors do. We focus on our core strengths, which is innovation, which comes backed by what our customers need.
Hmm.
So we listen to our customers, we spend time with them, and we give them what they want. That's what our core ideology has been, and this is what has been helping us innovate at a breakneck speed. Now, if you look at, in the current financial year itself, I think we've introduced more than 1,500 features already.
Right.
So that's the kind of speed at which we are innovating. Now, I'm not sure, or I wouldn't even like to comment who is doing that and who is close to it. But to summarize, when it comes to collaboration needs, you know, we are the we are the specialized tool.
Mhm.
We if you want to get into a NASCAR rally, we are that specialized car. If you want to get into a Formula One, we are that Formula One car.
Right.
If you're getting into a MotoGP, we are that MotoGP bike. Well, you have a choice of being a Swiss Army knife and using a Swiss Army knife which does everything. It's okay, you can use that. But we are not that. We are that specific knife which Rambo used in the movie Rambo and probably survived that entire life in the jungle, right? So that's what we are. We are specialized for collaboration. We are the specialists. We are not the generalists. We help you with any challenge that you face in collaboration. And I don't know there are any competitors in that space.
Moving on, we're going to address the elephant in the room, which you have touched upon slightly as well, and I'm talking about generative AI. So, how is Zoom leveraging technology like generative AI and tools like LLMs, in your platform? That is the first question. And the other thing is, are you utilizing AI technology to enhance the quality of audio and video for your platforms? So, yeah.
So where we are currently with our AI technologies is multiple things. First and foremost is the cognitive AI, which we are using for our virtual agents, where let's say, you have customers visiting your website, and we have our chatbots.
Yeah.
And chatbot is an amazing thing. If you go to our website itself and interact with the chatbot, the kind of responses we get and the kind of savings you get by reducing or streamlining your communication to your support agents or sales guys. That's one thing. The second thing is we are taking it to the next level.
Mm.
Now, as I said, meeting summaries were already available. Now it is going into a next level of streamlining the workflows. I'll give you an example, a real life example. Let's say we are in a meeting, five of us, and somebody decides or is unable to join the meeting, right? How cool it would be for the person to get a meeting summary because he or she was unable to join.
Right.
He or she gets a summary with a list of action items that are due for him or her. And once that is available, that's available basically in the chat. And not only that, but the chatbot also suggests the responses that can be responded to the chat. So something like that. That's a real life tool which we already have. Similarly, using uh, AI for forming messages or even mail components. We have
Predictive text.
yes, predictive text. We have Zmail. If you're aware of it, we have Zcal. We have Z schedulers.
Right.
So in that, giving you suggestions for defining your messages or mail components and so on and so forth. Similarly, let's say you are collaborating with your team on a chat channel. There are 10 people on that, and suddenly you get a phone call and you step out, and by the time you come out, there are like 50 messages out there, and you don't know what to do.
Right.
That's when the AI steps in and tells you, okay, this is the summary, and this is what the key is. Now, probably the response from you should be this.
Right.
That's where the collaboration is going to the next level, and we are bringing in AI to help you with that. So these are the latest tools that we've introduced using the AI platform, our proprietary as well as some of the industry standard.
Well, it sounds cool, and I think I would like to give it a try as well. Let's see. Moving
You should.
on,
You should.
I will. I will at some point. Yeah. So moving on to the next question. Apart from AI-related technologies that you are implementing or planning to implement, so what are the technological innovations and research areas that Zoom is interested in investing in? Yeah, that's the question for you.
So, while we were talking about AI, I did speak about a couple of other things, such as we've introduced Zmail.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own proprietary mailing solution. Not only that, but again, what we are trying to do is reduce the toggle tags, right? So when I say that, you open your Zoom client, and within that, you have mail, you got calendaring, you got scheduling, you got phone, you got chat, everything. So those are the couple of things. Like, you don't have to go between your browser for checking your mail, coming back, checking your team chat. So even if you're using let's say, any other mailing solution like Google or maybe Microsoft, you can bring those mails and you can even bring that chat into this. So that's the key option. Beyond that, we've been doing a lot of things like scheduler is one of the key things. You must have realized, sending back and forth, scheduling and giving, sending a calendar invite, getting a decline. No, this is it. We've introduced a scheduler where, you can actually create blocks and send it across to your customers and let them choose what they want to do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. So that's the kind of things we are making it more and more simpler. We've also introduced AI again in another area, which is sometime back in the large conference rooms which are there, or what we call it as Zoom rooms, we had introduced what is known as smart seats. Now that is for inclusion. Basically, you have 10 people seated in a conference room, and there are people on mobile and laptops, and suddenly you see just everybody coming in the room. We had introduced a system where the camera would pick up and create individual scenes
Right.
out of that. Now what we've got is intelligent director.
Mm.
Intelligent director basically creates the best angle also. So for example, somebody might be sitting behind me.
Okay.
It will actually pick that person up and create a separate window for it very clearly.
Oh, wow.
That's a very cool feature. The CIOs are loving it, and they're the ones who are testing it out and seeing it. They said, when can I have it? I need it right now. So that's the kind of thing, because it's always a challenge that there are four, five, six people, and suddenly the CEO is saying, "Okay, I don't know who is hiding where." And people like me who've been the backbenchers, they always try to hide behind somebody. So it's
True,
always
true.
been the case. So, but technology with help of AI, we are trying to elevate that. So that's the kind of improvements in spaces area or conference room areas. And finally, we're bringing in a lot of developments around security and technology where, for example, again,
Well, I do have questions about that. Maybe we can park that
yeah,
thought and revisit that
sure. So I'll leave it
later.
over there right now. Let's go.
And it's also fascinating about, the kind of innovation that you can do with the existing technologies, right? Like the sky is the limit.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
by the time I'm finished speaking to you and go back and check my laptop, my product team would have sent me another list of updates, which like, okay, these are new features which are out. Like, oh, now I have to go through this.
Yeah, flex. Okay, moving on to the next question. We were talking about technological innovations, right? I'm pretty sure you're caught upon the latest updates by Apple. So they have released this device, which is a mixed reality headset called the Vision Pro. Now, Vision Pro has this feature called the Persona feature, where cameras fitted on the device will capture the user's face and it will generate a digital doppelganger. And this 3D avatar can be used, on calls. And I read about how, Zoom is also one of the platforms where this avatar can be used. So, can you tell us how that works?
Well, I need to get my hands on. If you can help me get my hands on Vision Pro, I think I can tell you that. But right now, it's a technology. To be honest,
Right.
it's at a very nascent stage. We have to experience it right now. I have not seen it personally, so it would be difficult for me to comment. But we do have avatars in Zoom itself.
Right, right,
I'm not sure if you've checked it. You can customize it. You can create it your own avatar,
right.
and it's a very I would say very nice feature, amazing feature, especially when you don't want when I have a 4:30 a.m. call tomorrow morning, and I'm not
Do
going
not want to look
yeah,
groggy on
I'm going
camera.
to put my avatar on.
Sort of a collaboration welcome from Zoom's end, and also are users also keen about this kind of a feature?
Yes, it is because, and that was one of the reasons why even we had introduced the avatars on our own platform itself. But
Right.
this goes to one level more. I'll tell you some more features also. Like when you're talking about avatars, now there are certain other key developments or certain other partnerships also. Like for example, you can actually use Zoom in a Tesla. You can use Zoom in a Mercedes Benz, right? So those screens, of course, there are certain limitations such as the vehicle needs to be parked, cannot be moving, or you can be in
Right.
a passenger mode and can be using. So those kind of enhancement in technology and collaboration platform are welcome, obviously, and I think it's taking collaboration to a completely different stage.
Well, it's nice to know that, you're welcome to other collaboration efforts, from other brands as well. Now, moving on to the next question, let's talk about remote work and hybrid work, right? So, I recently got to know about this piece of news where a company based out of India is planning on ending work from home. So, do you think, initiatives like that could impact your business? And if so, how are you prepared to tackle that kind of, challenges?
So there are a couple of things, right? It's quite funny. We after the or let me say in this new era, we say hybrid work or we say work from home. But a person like me, or even for you for that matter, maybe 15 years back, it was no different. When we used to start our day, we used to say that, okay, today I'm going for my customer meeting. I will first do the meeting and then probably go to the office. Or I'll have 3 meetings today and I'm not going to,
Go to the office.
go to
Yeah.
the office. I will probably file my reports or do whatever from home. How is it different today? It's no different. Today, there are more flexibilities because the users or the employees are more empowered. They have better devices, they have better tools, they have better platforms to work from anywhere.
Correct.
Now let's park that aside for a second. Yes, there are companies who are mandating people to come to office. Great, fantastic. What happens when a city like Bangalore or Mumbai gets flooded? We see people sitting on the flyovers. We see women sitting behind that bike and she was working on
This
the
was
laptop. This
an
was his
incident in
2 week
Bangalore.
of
Yes,
vacation.
yes, yeah.
I mean, is that what we are looking for? And then companies, the same companies, coming out in the open and telling the municipal corporation that let us manage the traffic over here. We will manage it because it's a chaos.
Right.
At the end of the day, I think we are all responsible for it. I'll tell you something. Recently, again, there was an article published 2 days back or 3 days back where there were mass resignation from women.
Yes, yeah, I read about that as well. Yeah.
Well, it didn't take rocket science for us. We did that survey 6 or 8 months back. We published that report stating effect of working from home on women. And that has actually empowered women because they have the flexibility to work anytime. Today, there are so many women who are impacted due to whatever personal reason, right? I mean, usually they end up sacrificing a lot for their families. Maybe the husband's job takes priority, kids take priority for the women, housework takes priority for women. They end up not doing things. But when they have the flexibility to work from home, we have more women working.
Correct.
Isn't that what we want? So if you look at the basic things, it is very clear. It is all about the flexibility. It could be working from anywhere. It's not working from home. It is not working from office, but it is being flexible of where the person wants to work from.
Correct.
It is about flexibility of what time the person wants to work from. And the organizations have to evolve and embrace this. If not, then we are going to have, uh, you know, more mass resignations. We are going to still continue talking about women empowerment and getting women, more women workforce. Oh, you should recruit more women. But what's the point? You're not giving them flexibility. So we are going to continue on that. We are going to talk about global warming. We are going to crib about the traffic problems and flood situations. That's going to.
Right. I think that there is a valid point to, take into consideration there, of course. And also, a study was conducted where it was revealed that when people are given the option of working from home at least twice a week, their productivity shoots up. So,
And
yeah,
again, don't get me wrong. Again, as we discussed even before beginning this conversation, I'm sitting here with you,
correct.
and I'm here to meet some of my customers, my prospects in person. That cannot be taken away.
Yeah.
Human element cannot be taken away. And maybe that's what you call hybrid, right? I mean, 80% of the time I'm virtual, 20% of the time I'm meeting people, shaking hands, having coffee with them, and that cannot be displaced by anything.
Right. Now, moving on to the next question. How do you cater to the unique needs of different sectors like healthcare, education, and say enterprise for that matter? How do you make that happen?
Well, first and foremost, the platform that we have is quite flexible.
Right.
As I said, it federates with a lot of technologies, including different AIs, and also allows you to integrate in, into your own applications. So on one hand, you might have a platform which is delivering online education and Zoom integrated into it. Well, there it is a very different thing where you're just delivering and what do you say? Class online or you're teaching online, and at the end of the day you need probably the repository to store your online courses. You need attendance data, you need security to not allow somebody into it, but also you need integration into your learning management system. So that's one. On the other hand, there is another extreme, which is the financial sector,
Right.
where probably you are doing your KYC, know your customer, which is again unique to India. And it has to be on a very secured manner, doesn't have to have access to anyone. It will be only with the particular financial institution, cannot even go outside the firewalls of that financial institution, cannot be backed up outside. Those are the unique requirements, and we cater to all of that because
Right.
the integration is possible. We allow you to do that, and you should look at it. We have done one case study where we are Zoom can be run actually on drones, right? So we're capturing the live feed and giving it back to the head offices, or we did some. In fact, in the 31st of December last year, there was a unique case. The commissioner of Goa used Zoom, and cameras were fitted on the field marshals, and he was getting a live feed from the city. What's
Right.
going on?
Right.
So those are the unique use cases. Why is it possible? Because Zoom can be used on any device, can be integrated into most of the applications. It's up to you. SDKs are available, and that's the key feature of Zoom.
Right.
That's the key benefit.
But I think it boils down to simplicity, right? And the ease of use.
Simplicity and flexibility.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up, one final question for you. So, what do you think is the future of workspaces, right? And how do you see Zoom fitting in the picture? That is, yeah, the question.
Workspaces, you use the word correctly. I think it is it is workspace. It is space.
Yes.
It is not workplace anymore.
Yeah.
That's the key fundamental that we need to understand. Individuals need to understand, because a workplace is becomes very, particular to a location. But today, it's no longer a place, it's space. I can work from home, I can work from a coffee shop, I can work from this particular room, I can work from anywhere I want to. And that's, I should have a flexibility to do so without restrictions on any device, any application. And I should have that. And I should be able to interact with anyone. And not only, scheduled meetings and scheduled calls, but I should be able to impromptu get into a coffee cooler or a water cooler kind of a conversations in a corridor with anyone.
Right.
Replicate that work office virtual is what is the future, is what is going to be. And I think the more flexible we are around this, the better.
Well, thank you so much. That was a very engaging and insightful conversation. I really had a lot of fun talking to you, and I hope you feel the same as well.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Rosemary.
Yeah. Thank you.